hear the term leader, I think of two things. First, I think of someone with a tremendous amount of vision, someone who's confident in the direction that they want to lead. And second, I think of someone who's humble and willing to listen.
What is the most important, the most urgent problem that we can actually do something about, and how are we going to tackle it?
I view leadership as an opportunity to serve others, and I really buy into the mindset that we rise by lifting others. So I think without that critical servant heart component, leadership is not as effective as it could or should be.
If I were to offer advice to someone wanting to make a difference in the construction industry, or any industry for that matter, it would be to never pigeonhole yourself. Use those natural talents and abilities that you've been given and let them make the path for you. You may end up somewhere unexpected, but the journey will be fun and the fruits of your labor will be something to be proud of.
I think my strongest trait as a leader is my confidence and my willingness to try something new and make mistakes along the way. I firmly believe that the best learning technique is making mistakes every once in a while, such that you learn something new and you improve upon it for the future.
If ever there is a problem that they're trying to work through, I am determined to find a solution.
A leader to me embodies the traits that inspire. Empathy for those around you. The moral fiber to do what's right. Develop. This one is huge. Taking the time to teach those around you while remaining teachable. Together for better. And finally, cutting through complexity.
To me, the term leader is less about this notion of commanding or even guiding others, and is more about taking ownership for empowering or finding potential in people or certain circumstances. And now, with that being said, I think that any advice that I would give someone hoping to become a more effective leader or hoping to make a difference in my field would be to be willing to get down into the trenches, to do the work you're expecting from others, because ultimately the best way to empower is to have the humility and the courage to say this work is important. It's not above me, and there's value in our collective commitment to bring about change.
Leadership, confidence, humility, grace, and working as a team to make a common goal achievable.
My strongest trait as a leader is responsibility. I follow through on my promises and commitments, and it's important to me that people can trust me at my word.
I've always been one that has a listening ear, and when you're working with kids, that goes a long ways. They need more than just a dance teacher. They need a mentor, a role model, and just that friend that they can come to and express themselves.
To me, being a leader is living your life with humility and grace and doing the right thing when no one's watching.
A great mentor is someone who not only listens and supports you in times of need, but also someone who recognizes your strengths and weaknesses and helps you look inward to continue developing your own personal skill set in order to achieve your goals.
If I had any advice for someone looking to be successful in the human resources career, it would be to bring kindness with every interaction.
I think my strongest trait as a leader in the community is my drive. I look around and I see a lot of things that I think could be done, and I tend to take those on as my own personal projects.
Communication, time management, accountability.
To me, being a leader is not about having a certain rank or a position of authority. It's more about taking responsibility for the people around us, caring for the people around us, putting the well-being of others, sometimes even before ourselves.
Just get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
A local leader I admire is my mom. She has served in the law enforcement community in Richland County for over 15 years. And I've watched her show up consistently for that community in a thoughtful way. And she never gives up when it comes to serving others, working late nights, and making law enforcement better. So really proud of you, Mom.
When thinking about what a leader means, my brain honestly jumped from adjective to adjective, trying to decide which few were the most important. Essentially, I think it boils down to adaptability. The right approach to leadership is going to be different in every scenario and who you're working with. I have found the most successful and effective leadership stems from being able to accurately assess the best approach and adapting accordingly. From there, all those adjectives sort themselves into defining a leader with the best fit.
Leadership to me really means two things, strength and warmth. By strength, I really just mean being strong in leading yourself so that you can lead others. I think it's really hard in our current environment to do that with all the different information that's coming at us as quickly as it's coming at us. And by warmth, I really just mean being empathetic to what the people you're leading are going through, and be able to come to their level and help them and see them from their perspective get out of where they're at or to get to the next step.
Just get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Sometimes being that quiet and humble leader can draw more attention than being boastful and loud.
Thank you so much for the recognition, and congrats to all of the other winners. Cheers and have a great rest of the year.
Hi, and welcome to this year's 2020 Best and Brightest 35 and Under for Greenville Business Magazine. My name is Caleb Olabi.
And my name is Jacqueline Lowe.
And we're your hosts for this evening. And guys, obviously with COVID going on, we're having to be virtual. But I kind of like it a lot, Jacqueline, because we're able to be inside the homes of a lot of people that may not be able to make it to our event.
And we'd like to thank our sponsors for today's event: Infinity, Greycliff Capital, D. Hollander and Jantz Financial Group, KPMG, AMEC LLC, and Northwestern Mutual.
Thank you, sponsors, and we appreciate your support. And now for our Best and Brightest 35 and Under.
Brie Alexander, a clinical social worker, professor, Prisma Health System, Baylor University. To say social work is in her blood would be an understatement. She comes from a family full of social workers, both by trade and formal education. After earning her bachelor's degree in psychology from Furman University, she completed a master's degree in social work at the University of South Carolina and served in many social service arenas, including therapeutic foster care and inpatient mental health, before finding her true passion in mental health, clinical social work with children and adolescents. Morgan Allen, Executive Director, Euphoria Food, Wine, and Music Festival. She's the Executive Director of Euphoria, Greenville's 4-day food, wine, and music festival that consists of exclusive tastings, cooking, demonstrations, wine seminars, multi-course dinners, live musical performances, and more. After graduating from Georgia Southern University, she started her career in hospitality in St. Simons Island, Georgia, which is also where she grew up, before moving to St. Thomas Virgin Islands to further her passion for the industry. Tony Allen, Financial Advisor and College Unit Director, Northwestern Mutual. Originally from Chicago and a die-hard Chicago Bears fan, he moved to Greenville in 2014 to start a career with Northwestern Mutual and enjoy all that the upstate offers young professionals. Greenville made a powerful impression on him, so strong he left his amazing hometown and family. Brent Ayers, co-founder and COO, Progrin Dental. As a native of Greenville and a graduate of Clemson, he's had the good fortune of watching the city grow into what it's become today. In 2012, he founded Progrin Dental and has since grown it to 7 locations. As the co-founder and COO of a servant-led company, his daily focus is ensuring that his team is fully equipped and empowered to deliver the perfect patient experience and world-class clinical care. Lillian Boatwright, Operations Coordinator, Keymark Incorporated. As an upstate native, she's worked hard to make a difference close to home. She began her career at Keymark, where she was given a chance to grow professionally and fall in love with the technology industry. I not only enjoy what I do, she says, but also am empowered to make a difference locally. Paige Bridges, Emergency Physician, Prisma Health. When she moved back to Greenville 5 years ago, her life seemed to come full circle. The hospital where she works as an emergency medicine physician is the same one where she was born. Last year, she taught her first course at Furman, near the lake where she fed the ducks as a child, and the cross-country course that she ran for 4 years as a Furman student. Over the years, both Greenville and she have changed, but the fact that Greenville is home never has. Tony Caruso Jr., Vice President Manufacturing, Material Sciences, LLC. He grew up in Pennsylvania and earned his mechanical engineering degree at Virginia Tech. He had just gotten married when he learned Material Sciences, LLC would be opening its first facility in the upstate. He moved to Greenville in 2013 to lead that effort. Since then, he's grown the local team from 4 employees to 22 and facilities from 12,500 square feet to 45,000. Megan Campbell, Marketing and Communications Director, Greenville Chamber. She's a communications professional with a passion for supporting her community. An upstate native, she was born and raised in Belton, attended Clemson, and now lives in Greenville with her husband and 2 pups. Her favorite quote, "To give anything less than your best is to sacrifice the gift," from Steve Prefontaine. Jordan Chastain, owner of the Center & Company Dance Studio. When he started dancing 18 years ago, he never dreamed where the art would lead him. The stage has always been his second home, and he is grateful for the ability to continue doing what he loves. He was born and raised in Easley, was fortunate enough to continue his education at Clemson, and while attending Clemson, he became the Tiger mascot and was part of the first national championship team since 1981. Iain Konetz, an attorney, Hainsworth Sinclair Boyd. His grandfather, the late John Konetz, immigrated to Greenville from Greece in 1940. Today, years later, Greenville remains home for his children and many of his grandchildren, including Iain. He's an attorney at Hainsworth Sinclair, and the focus of his practice is divorce-related litigation. His passion allows him the opportunity to help people navigate through one of the most difficult, if not the most difficult, decisions in their lives. Stephen Cooper, Senior Project Manager, McCoy Construction Company, LLC. He was born and raised in Greenville, graduated from Clemson, and has worked in the upstate his entire career. He says it's easy to see why Greenville and the surrounding areas are near and dear to him. It's provided him with all the opportunities and tools he's needed to get where he is today. As a senior project manager for South Carolina's oldest contractor, he's had the opportunity to see the projects he's helped build and how it's impacted the community throughout his career. Leslie Crickman, Chief Financial Officer, Mattress by Appointment. As a kid from Greenwood, her dream was to become a psychologist and help people through counseling. Although her academic focus has clearly changed, her desire to support others has formed the foundation of her work style. In the ever-evolving field of accounting practice, there are many rules and lists, but she's found that the highest priority for any task is managing the client relationship. Sarah Dant, an account manager, Copus. Born and raised in Greenville, she has enjoyed seeing Greenville grow into the wonderful city that it is today. She started her career at the Weston Poinsett as a sales manager, and from there went on to join Rick Irwin's dining group as director of sales. During her free time, she enjoys working on both local and national races, and one day hopes to run for local office to continue to give back to her community. She quotes Winston Churchill, "We make a living by what we get, we make a life by what we give." Vince DeCranezio, Chief Financial Officer, Coker & Associates. If you had asked him when he was 17 where he would be today, his answer would be vastly different than reality. At the time, he had just enlisted in the Marine Corps and was prepared to spend his career serving his country in the military. After a career-ending motorcycle accident and several setbacks, he ended up on quite a different path. He received his bachelor's in accounting from the University of South Carolina and an MBA from Winthrop University before starting his career as a CPA. Catherine Eberle, Graphic Design Coordinator for the Hughes Agency. For the past 3 years, she has worked at the Hughes Agency, serving as Graphic Design Coordinator, assisting with the design and production of events, raising money for nonprofits, ranging from the Urban League to the Greenville Chamber and Cenex Share the Magic. What advice would she give her 18-year-old self? Don't give other people the power to control your happiness. Dewey Evans, Business Analyst, Quest Site Solutions. Working for a site selection and economic development consultancy at its broadest level means that he has the essence of his job, serving as the connector of companies and communities. He assists expanding companies with seeking the optimal location for their growth, affording the opportunity to play a small part in creating jobs and driving investment into communities across the United States. He finds the narrative that drives corporations and location decisions quite compelling and asks if the community will rise to the challenge. Andy Finley, Audit Senior Manager, KPMG. 15 years ago, he began his freshman year at Furman, and both the campus and the city stole his heart. He then spent a year in Columbia at the University of South Carolina, where he obtained his Master of Accountancy degree, and he was lucky to have the opportunity to come back to Greenville. A decade later, as the senior manager in the audit practice of KPMG, he oversees financial statement audits across the Southeast in the healthcare and insurance industries. When not serving his clients, you can find him in the mountains, parks, and lakes around the upstate. Jade Fountain, Director of Mission Advancement, United Ministries. She never set out to raise money for a living. Her path to fundraising started at Furman, where she was a communications studies major. It wasn't until she interned with the Greenville Symphony in 2008 that she fell in love with nonprofit work. After earning a master's degree in public administration, she worked in a variety of nonprofit roles and earned her Certified Fundraising Executive designation in 2016. At United Ministries, she's found herself learning so much about Greenville, including just how different one's experience of our city can be when he or she is a resource challenged in the idea of two different Greenvilles. Zach Hazen, Acumen IT. 10 years ago, freshly armed with a degree from Brevard College, his intention was to see the world. Having lived his whole life in the upstate, he wanted to explore other areas and planned to take a year off before entering law school. Upon his return from college, he never expected to fall in love with his hometown all over again. Greenville was not the only thing he fell in love with that year. He realized that while his intention was to enter law school, his passion was IT. It was then he found his mentor, David Pence, who gave him the chance of a career. Nearly a decade later, he is at Acumen IT, helping clients make informative and prosperous decisions for their businesses. Caroline Heath, Cherry Beckard. She's had the blessing of growing up, graduating, and now building her personal and professional life in Greenville. Since the inception of her career as a tax accountant at Cherry Beckard, she's had a drive to further those around her. She views lifting up other professionals and bettering their experiences as one of the greatest value adds to her own professional fulfillment. Rather than waiting until she holds a management position to share her knowledge, she's taken on a mentorship role within her capacity, supporting others in her office with the resources that are available to her. Willie Hunt, Sales and Marketing Executive, Milestone Custom Homes. A Greenville native, current real estate enthusiast, and former professional soccer player, graduated from Francis Marion University with a BS in marketing. He was lucky enough to spend the next 6 years traveling across the United States while playing the sport he loves. After 140 appearances, 11 goals, and an MVP award, he decided to get his real estate license and transition out of soccer and go all in on a new chapter of his life. Matt Kelly, President, CEO, Kelly Engineering. He says he's blessed to be from the upstate of South Carolina. He was born and raised in Anderson, attended Clemson, lived in Greenville, and settled in the Powdersville area. He graduated with a mechanical engineering degree in 2007 and received his professional engineering license in 2014. In 2015, he started Kelly Engineering with the goal of designing automation equipment and providing manufacturing services. The company has grown to 30 employees. Lizzie Kolkowski, Director of Innovation, Canal Insurance. When she started her career, she wanted to work with interesting data. Over time, she realized it's how you use the data to inform business decisions, not the data itself that is interesting. She finally landed in insurance, where the analytics and the things you can learn from data to apply to business are seemingly limitless. Ashton Lawrence, Financial Advisor to Hollander & Jantz Financial Group. As a Greenville native and a former collegiate basketball player for Coastal Carolina, who eventually found his way back to this great city, He's incredibly honored to be included in the Greenville Business Magazine's Best and Brightest 35 and Under. Upon his return to Greenville, he was able to continue his career in the financial services industry and now holds a few different financial designations. Within his current role, he actively and tactfully monitors the markets to develop and deliver investment advice and strategies accordingly. But he also takes a comprehensive approach to make sure all of the needs of his clients are covered. Cynthia Lerner, Project Manager, Bertrand. After living in both Brazil and Germany for most of her childhood, she's been calling Greenville home since 2003. After she graduated with an MBA from Appalachian State, she started her career with Bertrand, pursuing her passion in the automotive industry in Greenville. When she's not wearing steel-toe shoes, she enjoys road cycling and local group rides, and she has been cycling in Greenville since 2007 and is proud to have made the U.S. national team in 2011. Kevin Lindsey, Vice President of Operations, AMEC LLC. He's proud to be a third-generation master electrician and Vice President of Operations for his family-owned electrical contracting company. Located in Greenville, he got his start in the electrical industry 2 weeks prior to his 16th birthday, working during the summer months and school breaks. After graduating from Berea High School, he continued in the electrical field, taking a short break to run his own business, but he missed doing electrical contractor work and came back to the industry. In his time away, he gained a lot of business knowledge that has helped him in his current position as Vice President. Ann Carter McNabb, Director of Property Management, Hughes Commercial Properties, Incorporated. She grew up with two hardworking parents who always encouraged her to put forth her best effort. She knows her upbringing has had an immeasurable impact on her life. As the daughter of a real estate developer, she became interested in real estate at a very young age. This interest led her to study real estate at the University of Georgia and then obtain her master's in real estate development from Clemson. She's always had a passion for helping others, and this year joined the Meyer Center for Special Children's Board of Directors. She says it's been a great opportunity to work alongside a team of individuals who have such a passion for advancing the education of children. Jessica McCoy, Business Development Manager, Brasfield & Gorey, LLC. Everyone has a story, and she's thankful most of hers has taken place in Greenville. She vividly remembers walking down Main Street as a child, seeing the boarded-up windows and the dwindling restaurant options. Now she proudly shows her daughters the development of downtown and how that describes the changing skyline of her beautiful city. A Clemson University graduate with a political science degree, she's worn many hats during her tenure, but the common thread driving her passion for her work is always people. Ryan McCrary, owner, Mountain Goat. He and his wife Chrissy started Mountain Goat as a way to help change their community. Mountain Goat is a for-profit cafe, tap room, and bike shop located intentionally in the Poe Mill neighborhood. They donate 100% of their profits to their partner nonprofit, Great Outdoor Adventure Trips, to provide life-changing experiences for at-risk students. Jennifer Moore, Chief Operating Officer, Greycliff Capital Partners. Her journey to a senior leadership role with one of the Southeast's leading multifamily development and investment companies has been atypical, she says. After teaching first grade for a few years, she transitioned in her career and joined the team at Greycliff Capital as a real estate coordinator. As a fast-paced learner, she quickly assumed increasing responsibilities, and concurrent with helping grow the business, she received her MBA from Clemson and was promoted to COO that same year.
Congrats, man!
Alex Nevels, Learning Consultant, ThinkUp Consulting. For the past 7 years, he's worked with a talented group of individuals who value his desire to ask questions, take risks, and explore new possibilities. These skills have found a good home at ThinkUp, where they specialize in finding creative, innovative solutions for their clients' toughest challenges, and as a learning consultant, he helps crystallize the client's visions with a talented cast of thinkers to bring them to life. Jenny Reed, Financial Analysis Manager, United Community Bank. A graduate of Clemson, where she received bachelor's degrees in both financial management and accounting, she works at United Community Bank as a financial analysis manager. She oversees the budget and forecast process and supports executives in understanding the bank's financial performance. She says her parents were her most influential mentors. They've had professional success while prioritizing family and community. She seeks their guidance on all of her personal and career decisions. Will Richter, Vice President, Compliance Manager, TD Community Development Corporation. He says he's learned the importance of teamwork, collaboration, and grit during his years spent competing in international cycling for the BMC Hincapie Sportswear Racing Team. He says he's applied those same principles to his career with TD Bank. As Compliance Manager with TD Community Development Corporation, he helps deploy TD's new markets tax credit allocations across the state's footprint from Maine to Florida. Rut Rivera, PASO's Program Manager in Greenville, Prisma Health's PASOs. Born in Venezuela, she moved to the United States at the age of 15. Greenville took her as one of their own, and she can't see living anywhere else. She attended North Greenville University to study psychology. Being a first-generation immigrant has led her to do what she loves, helping others to overcome barriers and obstacles to be able to reach their goals and dreams. Andrea Simmons, Public Relations Director, Vantage Point Marketing. She was named most interested in books in kindergarten, and she's looked for ways to incorporate reading and learning into her life ever since. As Public Relations Director at Vantage Point, she leads the agency's PR team in developing strategic messaging, fostering relationships, and creating engaging content to drive results for their B2B clients. Building on her degree in public relations from the University of Georgia, continuing education is a priority, and she's earned her accreditation in public relations certification through the Public Relations Society of America. JeanMarie Tankersley, Litigation Partner, Clausen & Stobbs. Both sides of her family had been in Greenville for generations, so even when she wasn't living here, Greenville has always been home. After studying history at the College of Charleston and law at the University of Georgia, she moved back to Greenville in 2013 to practice law. Her focus is on civil defense litigation, and she believes the law is a noble profession, and nowhere is that more evident than the South Carolina and Greenville bars. Calhoun Taylor, Director, Product Business Manager, Cenex Distribution. She started with Cenex Distribution in 2014 after graduating from Wofford. Now, as the Director of Product Business Management, she has the privilege of leading the best team in the tech industry who manage the go-to-market strategies and results for secure networking technology. She's been recognized as the Cenex President's Club winner, the 2019 CompTIA Channel Changers nominee, and a 2020 CompTIA Women in Technology Leadership Award nominee. Cassie Thompson, Director of Organizational Development, Infinity Marketing. A proud Greenville native, she absolutely loves this beautiful city that she gets to call home. She received both her bachelor's and master's degree from Bob Jones University in the communication field. Shortly after graduation, she landed by accident in human resources and quickly realized what a wonderful fit her desire to teach and mentor, her fascination with the quirks and nuances of legal matters, and her love for the swirling chaos of life would be for that profession. Madison Wilson, Internal Communications Leader, GE Gas Power, GE. She grew up in Greenville playing soccer, tennis, and golf, and swimming through locally organized associations. To say that sports involvement has had a major impact on her life would be an understatement. Sports taught her the importance of leadership, confidence, humility, grace, and working as a team to make a difference. Now, as the internal communications leader for GE's Gas Power organization, she's responsible for a team that manages global internal communications for 20,000 employees.
Wow, Jacqueline, I think that was some really amazing talent that we just heard about.
Oh yeah, I'm excited to see what these folks are going to continue to do, and make sure you keep an eye out for all of the people that you just heard about. They have got a bright future ahead of them and will be doing a lot of exciting things.
Most definitely.
We'll see you next year.